Boxers don't do this. This is why Canelo's not fighting Benavidez. Why would Canelo fight Benavidez, who's relatively unknown, and Benavidez beats him, and Benavidez becomes overnight a superstar? That's Canelo's letting Benavidez make a name off of him.
Wait, so you're saying that you're going to make it? Well, to me, like we keep going to say, we want to see Benavidez be a hell of a fighter. But my personal opinion, he's ducking Benavidez. You know, it's just my personal opinion. I'm allowed to speak my mind. This is what it is. We want to see Benavidez.
David Benavidez is on fire after Canelo Alvarez's shocking defeat to Terence Crawford. The undefeated super middleweight beast isn't holding back anymore. He's turning up the heat, declaring loud and clear that Canelo's fear is the only thing stopping their showdown.
Can you not give us Canelo Benavidez? Why? Canelo, why? I do not understand it. You're demanding $200 million? Like, come on, dude. Basically, Canelo doesn't want to give us the good fights. Imagine if Canelo and Benavidez gets made. That's the Super Bowl of boxing. Boxing is on the rise. Canelo, don't screw it up for us. I thought I would never say this, but Canelo's scared. Literally, I thought I would, as a fighter, I know fighters are not scared. But wow, we've been begging Canelo. Please, Canelo, please.
Saul Canelo Alvarez once refused to face David Benavidez, claiming he didn't like his style, but deep down, fans knew it was all about the money. Meanwhile, veteran trainer Ronnie Shields boldly predicted before the fight that Terence "Bud" Crawford would take down Canelo, and he's standing firm on that claim even now. Shields said he always believed Crawford's lightning-fast agility and flawless switch-hitting between orthodox and southpaw would overwhelm Canelo completely. He explained that Bud's smooth stance changes, sharp attacks, and smart retreats shattered Canelo's rhythm, exposing tiny defensive flaws that became massive openings for Crawford's counters. In short, Shields believes Canelo simply couldn't keep up with Bud's elite footwork, timing, and fight IQ inside the ring.
By unanimous decision, we got that. I just thought Crawford was too fast for Canelo. Too many combinations. Canelo doesn't jab anymore. He's looking for one shot now. The end is there for Canelo. And I just think that Crawford was too fast for him, especially in the southpaw position. We all know Canelo have problems with the southpaw. So, and that's why I picked Crawford. I just thought Crawford could be too fast for him.
Veteran trainer Ronnie Shields couldn't stop praising Terence "Bud" Crawford after his dominant victory over Canelo Alvarez. He admired how Crawford executed a near-perfect game plan, staying calm, striking with precision, and punishing every mistake Canelo made inside the ring. Shields called it a masterclass of ring IQ and tactical brilliance, exactly as he had predicted before the fight. He observed that Canelo appeared exhausted, and he even proposed that the Mexican superstar should contemplate retirement, given the significant toll the years of high-level wars had taken. But Oscar de la Hoya saw things differently. He said retirement should be Canelo's own decision. Only he can decide if he's reached his limit. Still, de la Hoya advised him to choose future opponents wisely. He couldn't help but hail Crawford as extraordinary, emphasizing Bud's unmatched ability to read styles and counterpunch with surgical accuracy. De la Hoya admitted that Crawford's performance was overwhelming, a reminder of why Bud is regarded as one of the most intelligent, adaptable, and dangerous fighters in modern boxing.
Crawford is older than Canelo, so we can't use the excuse that he's older, right? We can't use the excuse that, oh, well, he's moved around too much. Well, it's your job to figure him out, right? Just like Chavez would figure out a fighter, just like I would figure out a fighter, just like any real great fighter can figure styles out. That's your job. I think Crawford did a tremendous job. Kudos to him. Sky's the limit for Crawford, and I really don't know where Canelo goes.
Oscar de la Hoya, the legendary Mexican-American boxer and promoter, didn't hold back when discussing Canelo's next move after Crawford's historic victory. But he also took time to analyze Terence "Bud" Crawford's journey and mindset. De la Hoya praised Crawford's unshakable confidence, saying it's that very belief that drives him toward even greater challenges. He noted that Crawford looks perfectly comfortable at super middleweight, with no real reason to drop back to 154. However, Oscar hinted that Bud might consider jumping to 160 pounds if the right blockbuster fight comes along. According to De La Hoya, the most exciting matchup on the horizon would be Crawford versus Vergil Ortiz, a fiery showdown packed with action, intensity, and the kind of drama that perfectly fits Crawford's current superstar status.
Going Crawford at 160. Imagine that. Would be incredible. So there's a good possibility that Crawford will stay at 168. Most likely go down to 160. I don't think he's going to touch 154. I think he'll stay at 160 eventually and try to find the biggest fights possible. And the biggest fight for him would be a Vergil Ortiz.
Rolly Romero was full of praise for Terence "Bud" Crawford after his spectacular performance in the September 13th main event against Canelo Alvarez. Romero said it takes something special to hand Canelo a defeat, and Bud did exactly that. He noted how the early rounds were fiercely competitive, with Canelo pressing forward and keeping things tight. But as the fight went on, Crawford began taking full control, setting the pace, landing the cleaner shots, and dominating round after round with surgical precision. Romero emphasized that Bud's ability to adjust mid-fight against an elite opponent proves why he's now being hailed as one of the greatest boxers in history. He called Crawford's victory an unbelievable mission accomplished, the kind of performance that redefines greatness in the sport.
That performance did something really special for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, a lot more special than what probably anyone else is probably thinking, honestly. I didn't expect Crawford to be that big.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't expect Crawford to be that big, but Canelo did good the first few rounds, the first like all the way up to round 4, and then that's when Crawford took over, So the second half of the fight though, it was all Crawford. There was no question about it.
Terence "Bud" Crawford may have shocked the world by defeating Canelo Alvarez, but when it comes to facing the undefeated monster David Benavidez, he seems to share the same hesitation that once held Canelo back. After dismantling Canelo and stripping him of his titles, Crawford now finds himself at the center of a new storm, one that Benavidez is more than ready to unleash. The Mexican monster has thrown down the gauntlet, demanding a showdown to decide the true king of Mexico's ultimate boxing scene following Canelo's crushing loss. Meanwhile, several boxing veterans have advised Canelo to hang up the gloves, claiming that the years of wars have finally caught up to him. Still, Crawford's cautious attitude toward Benavidez raised eyebrows across the boxing community. On social media, Crawford admitted that while he respects Benavidez's size and power, he won't back down if the fight becomes inevitable. "Benavidez is a big guy," Crawford said, acknowledging the challenge. "Canelo's size was manageable, but Benavidez? He's around 1.80 meters tall and weighs nearly 90 kilograms. That's a real threat." Boxing analyst Dan Rafael echoed Rolly Romero's earlier observations, highlighting that the Canelo versus Crawford fight started as a wild back-and-forth war, filled with fierce exchanges and heavy shots. But as the rounds went on, Crawford's preparation, patience, and razor-sharp execution completely flipped the script. Rafael praised Bud's discipline, calling his tactical control and long-game strategy flawless. He reminded fans that before the fight, many doubted Crawford's chances, pointing to Canelo's size, power, and championship experience as unbeatable advantages. Yet Crawford turned every doubt into motivation, proving his focus and hard work could overcome any obstacle. With this victory, Crawford has cemented himself as one of the most complete, disciplined, and mentally tough champions boxing has ever seen, a fighter whose greatness continues to rise with every challenge thrown his way.
I thought he did a great job. I thought it was close. I had Canelo ahead in the early going, but I thought Crawford did an amazing job closing that fight down in the last few rounds, where he really started to back the supposed bigger guy up, although for me, they looked about the same size. But that was a brilliant performance. So what can you say? I mean, you got to give him his credit. He created a lot of history. He dreamt this fight. He willed it to happen. A lot of people, not me, but a lot of people laughed at him, said, forget about it, no chance against a bigger guy like that. But he showed.
As the dust settles after Crawford's electrifying triumph over Canelo Alvarez, the boxing world is buzzing with endless possibilities. Fans and analysts are split. Some want a rematch, others say it's time for both warriors to chase new horizons. David Benavidez continues to call out Canelo, framing it as a battle between youth and legacy, while many believe Canelo should consider retirement to preserve his legendary status. Meanwhile, Crawford's victory opens doors to massive future showdowns. Could it be Virgil Ortiz next, or will Bud aim to conquer the middleweight and super middleweight divisions? Let's hear it from you. Should Canelo retire or accept Benavidez's challenge? And who should Crawford face next? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more explosive boxing updates.